Hmm. And supporting yourself however you need to, with a cushion, with a blanket beneath you, a block. Taking a few moments to close your eyes, to tune in, to come into the body this morning. To take an assessment of how you're feeling today. What is needed in the physical body? What is needed in the energetical body? How is your energy today? Is it quite flat or is it quite perky? Check in with your breath. How is your breath? Is it slow and full and smooth? Or is it quick and shallow? And that can tell you a lot about your nervous system and your state of being in this moment. Are we anxious, excited, anticipating, or are we calm, relaxed, centered? And let's all just take a nice deep breath in, filling your lungs all the way from the bottom, and hold the breath when you get to the top. Holding the breath, holding the breath, holding the breath. So you feel that energy rise and build, and then a big sigh, let it go. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath in. Hold the breath. The chest should be expanded, the belly expanded. Soften your shoulders. Keep holding the breath. And a big sigh, let it go. And then just consciously tune into the breath a couple more times. Before we begin, reminding ourselves that this practice is to support us. It is here so that we can exercise the body, to support us to be more comfortable, pain-free, injury-free. It's to support us mentally as well as physically. And what we practice on the mat is a mirror, a reflection of how we show up off of the mat. And it is here that we can play and we can explore safely our edges, our boundaries, our habits, supporting our growth, supporting our energy, our vitality, but breathing more deeply and fully, oxygenating our blood, our cells, which is exactly the nourishment that they need. And today we're also going to be looking at the wrists and making sure that we're supporting our wrists. They get quite forgotten about in our practices, and not just through yoga, but through working, typing, if you're doing any kind of hands-on activity, cooking, baking, anything, if you're doing a lot of strength training at the moment, even just body weight kind of stuff, the wrists are doing a lot of work. So we're going to really focus on supporting the wrists, the hands that support us. So let's, on the next breath, take a big breath in, circle your arms wide enough, and just touch the palms together above your head. Hold the breath for a moment, and then exhale, send the hands to the floor, and just feel the fingertips land on the ground beside you. Inhaling again, circle the arms wide enough. Feel the length through the sides of your body, and exhale, the hands come back to the floor. Beautiful. One more time. Inhaling, take the arms up. This time, take your hands to your knees, and you're going to cup your knees with your hands. And before we move into the wrist work, we're just going to wake up the hips, start to make some circles, because we're going to be doing some sitting just for the first few minutes of the class. But before we do a lot of sitting, it's really good to help stretch, massage, release the hips. And these can just be little circles. And I suggest that you do that with your eyes closed. There's nothing really to see out here. So that you can feel, reverse, go the other way. That you can feel exactly what is going on. And that you can sense where the muscles are the tightest. Which muscle, which part of the body, in which part of the movement. Perfect. The next time you come forward, come to the center, bring your hands to the floor, walk yourself forward into your forward fold. It could be more like a forward lean, and that is perfectly okay. Doesn't have to be so deep. Fantastic. Soften your shoulders. Sink the hips back and down. And even feel that expansion of your breath through the back body. And then slowly walk your hands all the way back up. We're just going to switch the legs around, maybe through a cheeky little chair pose. Lift the feet up. Hands can be behind you to support you, or hands can be reaching forward in front of you. Hopefully we remember which leg was in front. And then switch, do the opposite one. And if you did forget, just do whatever leg you don't normally or wouldn't automatically put down, your more dominant leg. Hands to your knees first. Let's make the circles. Add your breath. Maybe a big exhale as you go forward, and an inhale as you go back. Exhale forward. And you can make that breath a little quicker if you need to be a little bit more invigorated in your practice. Or if you're really just feeling into your hips, make it slow and mindful. Reverse, go the opposite way. So you could be going quick, you could be going slow. What is going to support you in your practice today? Beautiful. And the next time you come forward, we're going to lean forward, lean into the hands, walk yourself forward, lengthen through the sides of the body, send your hips down, and let your forehead drop towards the floor. Even if it doesn't get there, it's okay. Just let the head get heavy. And see if you can come up onto your fingertips so that your arms are a little more active. Root into your sit bones, and then do me a favor, pull the chest forward and lift the chest just a little bit so that you're opening and you feel a little bit of space through the collarbone. Yeah, exactly. Don't worry how far you're going. Even just a little bit is probably going to give you a lot of sensation. And then let's walk our hands back. Beautiful. Making sure you're comfortable here. So if you need to re-switch your legs, do that. If you need to just even take them wide, you can do that. We're going to focus for a moment here on the wrists. So let's bring our hands up. Good. Just about shoulder height. And then you're going to pull your fingers to the sky. And as you do that, spread through the palm of your hand as much as you can. Push the heels of your hands forward. Good. And just notice how that feels. Keep the spine lifted, and then let's move with the breath. So you're going to exhale, point your fingers forward. Relax the hand. Inhale, open the palm of the hand, fingers to the sky. Exhale. Inhaling to open. You can do about 10 of those, so about 7 more. Inhaling to open. Stretch the fingers, exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. 5 more. Notice what's happening in those forearms as you stretch. Notice what's happening in the back of your hand. And even if it's really uncomfortable at the beginning, it might get a little bit easier as we move. Again, you don't want to move through pain, but there's a difference between pain and discomfort, of challenge. Good. I lost count, so we'll just do 2 more. That should round it up nicely. Good. Hold the next time your palms are open. Spread the fingers even more. Push your hands away like you're pushing something away in front of you. And then relax and relax your arms all the way down. Inhale, take the arms wide and up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands back to the heart center. Extend the arms out again. This time you're going to almost like you're holding on to a doorknob. It's a really big doorknob and you're kind of shining it with your hands. A horrible description, but I couldn't think of anything else in this moment. So basically what you're doing is yeah, exactly. You're turning your hands and spreading your fingers. I don't know. I guess I'll leave that commentary to you on exactly what it is that you're doing here. But we're spreading the fingers and kind of twisting the wrist. Good. Really great for hand mobility. And then close the fingers, make a fist, and then just start to circle the fist. And you can relax the arms to do that. But make the fist into the biggest circle, the biggest range of motion and movement that you can. Again, feel what that feels like all the way up into your forearms, to the inner forearm, the outer forearm, all the way up to the elbows, maybe even the triceps. And then release that. Make your wrists really floppy so that you can flick them. But they have to really be relaxed. Good. And you can flick them just forward, or you can kind of let them shake up and down. Exactly. Releasing all of that stuff we've just done. Getting them to relax, to let go. Beautiful. Take the arms around and up one more time. Bring the hands together. And then this time, bring the thumbs to the back of your neck. Wrap your elbows around your head so that you feel that it's firm and supportive. Lift up the chest a bit more. Lean your head back. Put a little bit of tension into your arms from your head and feel how that opens up the front body. Maybe the triceps. Thumbs are touching your back. Take one more big breath there from your navel right up into the chest. And then exhale, release the arms, take them back by your side, and then let's come forward onto our hands and knees. So coming up onto your hands and knees. Beautiful. And then from here, spread your fingers nice and wide. Shoulders underneath the wrist. So it's really important where the shoulders are, because when they are above the joint, shoulder joint above the wrist joint, it's going to put the weight more evenly through your body. And then spreading your fingers makes a big difference, because it's going to transfer the weight of your body into the whole of the hand, not just the wrists, which are quite overloaded often. So I want you to try to push down into all 10 of your fingertips. And at the same time, feel that there's a little lift from the pad of the hand, the very middle of the hand, just like we did with our feet when we were focusing on our feet. We're rooting down through all 10 fingertips and lifting up the arch of the hand. Keep that. Inhale. Lift your chin, lift your tail. Cow pose. Exhale, round the back. Curl the chin, tailbone under. Inhaling. As we create the movement today, our typical movements, very familiar, but making it a new experience by bringing our awareness today into our hands. It should feel like you're kind of gripping the mat, lifting the palm of the hand up. We talked about bandhas and how they are locks and supports. This is called pada. Pada means hand in Sanskrit. Pada bandha is when we're rooting down through the fingertips, lifting up through the middle of the hand. And it gives us a lot of support. Let's do that a couple more times. And that is really helpful when you go into things one day, eventually maybe never, but if you ever experiment with things like handstands or forearm balances, not forearm balances, we don't use our hands for those, arm balances. That grip with your fingers is very important, because that is where your balance comes from. Sometimes it's just the very minute rooting down through a fingertip that holds your legs above your head in a handstand. Good. Root down through the hands again. Swing your hips from side to side, coming back to center. Feeling into the sides of the body. And then make a big circle. Big round circle with the hips. Beautiful. And then back to center. Now we're going to do something slightly different here. We're going to turn the hands outwards towards the edges of your mat. You might have done this with me before. Same thing applies. Press into your fingertips. Lift the inner arches of your hands and then just sway from side to side. Move your weight from right to left. Exactly. And then maybe make a circle again here, bringing your weight back to to the side and forward and reverse, back to the side and forward. Beautiful. Then keep turning your hand in that direction until you can turn both hands all the way back. And it might not be that you can do both at the same time if you have real tightness there, but see if you can, if it's possible. You can even bring your knees closer to your hands if you need that, and tuck your toes. And then you can start to lean yourself forward and back. And that will really depend on how tight you are, how comfortable you are there. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable, but not okay to be in pain. And notice how that feels and where you feel that. All the way up to the forearms, the inner lower arms. Good. And then walk your knees back if you came back in. Tuck the toes. And then start to peel the heel of the hand off the ground. So just the fingers are on the mat. You're peeling the heel of your hand off the ground, the palm of your hand off the ground. So you're stretching into your fingers. Push your fingers back into the floor. Beautiful. Keep going like you're rolling your hand up until you come right up onto your fingertips. Beautiful. Turn the backs of your hands to the ground and come forward gently. Feel into that. Notice that. And then do the same thing. Lean your weight back towards your toes. You might be getting a stretch in those as well. Start to roll your hand. So you're lifting the heel of the hand off, the wrist, the back of the hand, pressing the fingers to the floor and roll up. We're going to do that one more time. Spin your hands, palms come down, but your fingers are facing your knees. Lean into the hands, and then start to pull your weight back as you roll off of your hands. The wrists lift off, the palms of the hands press into your fingers, roll the hands up. Beautiful. Flip the hands under like a gorilla. Lean into the backs of the hands. Lean your weight back. Good. And if that feels good, you can even take a moment to pause there. This is a very unusual position we put our arms into. So it's nice to really deeply stretch into the forearms, the flexors of the hands. And then you can roll off of them, slowly rolling the weight back up. Beautiful. If you can sit on your knees, sit back. If not, just come to an easy seat. And then one hand at a time, just make it floppy. Give it a little flick. Then the other hand. We've just done a lot of work. So go gentle as you release. That's it. And you might be thinking, what on earth did we just do to my hands? But I promise that they just did a little workout. That's why they're feeling a bit of tiredness and a bit of confusion, but they will feel a little bit better. Okay, so from your knees, if you're still here, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, bring the hands together. Exhale, we're just going to dive forward, the arms come back, forehead towards the floor. So nothing to do with the hands at the moment, just bringing the attention back to supporting the rest of the body. Exhale, pull your navel in strongly as you bow. Beautiful. Inhaling to come all the way back up. Lift through the chest. One more time. Exhaling, bowing the hands down. Then this time, sit your bum back to your heels. The hands rest on the floor beside your feet into your child's pose. Breathing into that rounding that's happening into the back of the body. Release the neck. Noticing here how we've woken up with our back. Is the back really tight? Or do you feel this pose more in your thighs, in the creases of the hips, around your hip flexors? Can you relax your shoulders just a little bit more? Beautiful. Then we're going to slowly stretch the arms forward, reach them out. Reach towards the top of your mat. And then lift the wrists, lift the palms of your hands, come just onto your fingertips. So you should start to feel more stretch now in the chest and the shoulders. Head is still down, hips are still back. The heels of the hands, the palms of the hands are lifted just on your fingertips. And then try to walk your fingertips towards the top of the mat. A little bit more. So you're creeping more and more forward. Let the shoulders open, stretching into the upper back. Big, deep breaths. One more breath there. And then release. Drop the elbows. Send your weight forward into your hands. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips and come up into a downward facing dog. March out the legs. Bend one knee at a time. Feel into the hamstrings, the calves. Maybe let your weight sway and shift a little bit from side to side. Yeah. And then put a little bend in both of your knees. Bend both of your knees so that it's much easier to push into your hands and to move your chest and your ribs back a little bit more towards the thighs. So the shoulders are behind your wrists as much as possible, still in your down dog. Good. Now think about where the weight is without changing it. Where does the weight sit in your hands? Is your thumb kind of really light? Is the weight pressing into the outer wrist, the outer edge of the hand, into just the wrist? What if we try to spread the weight more evenly into the hands? Actively push down the thumb mound, the first finger, all of the fingers, the knuckles, the fingertips, maybe even draw up on the palm of the hand. How does that feel? What does that change? If you were with us yesterday, can you spin the outer edges of your armpits in towards the middle of the armpits? Like the armpits are trying to say hello towards each other. Good. Let's come off of our hands now. We're going to walk our feet towards the top of our mat. Keep your knees bent. The hands will lift up as you get closer to your feet. Bend your knees, drape over your legs. A little sway from side to side. Nice and gentle. Bring your awareness to your feet. Build that nice stable base. Spread your toes. Activate your feet. Just like your hands. And then let's roll up. Bend the knees, chin to chest. Support the body with the core as you slowly roll yourself up one vertebra at a time. Finally, stacking your head above your heart, lifting the shoulders to the ears, pull them back and let them slide down. Inhale again. Big lift, pull them back and reset down. Perfect. So taking a moment to just remember and reconnect to all the points we went through this week, to your feet, making sure they're nice and parallel to the edges of your mat. Find that triangular base from the middle of the heel, front part of the heel, to the little toe and the big toe mounds. Press into those, root them down, spread the toes. Activate the muscles under your feet by feeling like you're lifting up, and you'll feel how that activates the muscles of your legs. Beautiful. Lengthen the tailbone down, draw the lower belly, starting to engage the core. Maybe the buttocks, the glutes are just not engaged to squeeze, but there's awareness there. Shoulders are relaxed and soft away from the ears. And then inhale, bring your hands all the way up. Touch them above your head, fingertips together, palms of the hands together, maybe even look up. And then let's exhale, take a fold forward, bowing forward over your legs. Come up halfway, hands to your shins, pull the spine long. Feel that triangular base of your feet and exhale, fold. Step your right leg back, bring your right knee down to the ground. Pause there. Inhale, take the arms up into your low lunge. And if you can't be on your knee today, this could be a crescent lunge for you as well. Good. Lift up. Let's move a little bit more forward, but let's never sink into that joint. So if you go really deep forward, it looks pretty nice on camera, on the screen, but it's really bad for your joint. So you're pulling back and you're lifting out of the joint, not hanging or sagging in it. Good. Add a cushion under that knee if you need to, because we're going to add a little bit of movement with the upper body. We're going to bring our hands down to our chest. All we're going to do simply here, it seems simple, but it's going to do a lot of work for the wrists, the forearms. We're going to pull the elbows to one side. So you're going to keep that look, elbows in one line, hands together in prayer, just pull the elbows to one side. And then pull back to center, hands to heart. And then pull over to the other side as far as you can. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale back to center. Exhale. One more time. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Push the hands together as you move. Inhale. And then hands come back to the floor. Oh, step the back toes, tuck the back toes under, and step all the way back into a downward facing dog. Stretch into the backs of the legs. Open the backs of the knees. Beautiful. From here, let's slowly come forward into our plank. Lower down however you get there, but think about your hands as you do. How much they're supporting the weight of your body as you descend onto the ground. Then inhale, rooting into the hands, firm the legs, rise up. Notice the weight in the hands. Exhale. Let's do Cobra a few times here. First, thinking about the legs. They're very important. Firm them. Hug the elbows in. And then think about the weight in your hands. Is it only in the wrists? Can we transfer the weight into the fingertips as well, just like we did, lifting up the palm of the hand so subtly, slightly. Imagine if we practice our yoga all the time, twice a day, sometimes, some of you, and we always load the wrists with our weight. How do you think the wrists are going to feel after some time? So supporting the wrists as they support so much of our body in our practice so that there's longevity. Let's do one more. In fact, this time, let's take our hands forward off of the mat, fingertips to the ground, so that the heels of the hands aren't even on the ground. The wrists are lifted. Then inhale, rise, straightening your arms. The arms are forward, so you're not going to get as high or as tall in the pose. But think about pulling your ribs towards your hands. And if you wanted to get higher, you could walk your hands in closer. Just make sure you're not compressing the lower back. Curl the tailbone towards your heels. And then slowly release. Come all the way down. Hands back under the shoulders. Hug the elbows in. Push into all 10 of your fingers. Evenly spread the weight into your hands as you lift back up into your downward facing dog. March out the legs. Bend the knees. Walk into your feet. And then we're going to step that right foot forward. Right foot's going to come forward. Boop. Drop the back knee. Pat it if you need to. Add a pillow there. Inhale. We're going to be here for a few breaths as we were on the other side. Bring your hands to your heart. Now we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to add something a little different. So if you pull your elbows to one side, good. And just notice how you feel that. Press your hands together. Now tip your hands towards the elbow in the direction you pulled it. So if you pulled it over to the right, you're going to tip your fingers towards that right elbow. Good. If this is too much on your knee, you can do this from a standing lunge position. Pull the elbows to the other direction. Tip the fingers towards that elbow. Good. So it's about really what's happening in the hands, the wrists, the forearms, rather than so much about the leg, although we do want a nice stretch and opening for our hip flexors for the day. See if we can do one more. Try not to hang in your joint as you stay in that low lunge. Beautiful. Moving with your breath. Tipping the hands over to one side. Come back to the center. Inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen. Exhale the hands back to the floor. Frame the front foot, step forward. A little lift. Push off of your fingertips. Lift the spine. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet, rise. Take the arms all the way up. And exhale the hands back to the heart. Do that again. Inhale, the arms rise up. And exhale, the hands come back to the heart. Beautiful. Let's take our legs nice and wide. Turn our toes in and our heels out. Beautiful. And we're going to do that again because I really love how this feels. I think it's such a good one to support us. And it's a little easier now that we're not on our knees. So bring your hands to your heart, elbows, and heels of the hands are in one straight line. We're going to pull the arms over to the right. Push the hands into each other and then tip the fingers over to the right elbow. Good. On your next inhale, pull them back to center. Exhale over to the left. Inhale, tip the fingers. Exhale, stay. Inhale, come back to center. Inhale, release the arms. I made you inhale twice. That's okay. Exhale, take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Press the knuckles towards the ground, roll the shoulders back. Feel that beautiful opening for your chest. And whilst you're doing that, set up your feet, turn your toes, fingers of your feet towards each other, the heels open. Breathe and lift, lengthen, activate your feet, activate your legs as you fold forward. Take your bow. Think of your feet for a moment. Make sure that they're really stable and grounded. Lift up through the arches of your feet so you feel the thighs lifting up too. Maybe the inner thighs lift up. Beautiful. And then for your shoulders, think about pulling your shoulders towards the ceiling. Beautiful. As the knuckles start to lift skyward, feel into all of that today. One more big breath, maybe even a sigh. And then we're going to press down into our feet, engage your core, engage the glutes as you rise. Core, glutes, support your rising. And then exhale, release the arms, release the shoulders. Inhale, float the arms up. All the way up, turn the palms to the sky. Exhale, palms to the floor, hands return back to your sides. Good. Turn your right foot forward towards the short edge of the mat. If you need to be on the other side than that, that's okay. Bend that right knee and find your warrior two. Reach the arms open. Make sure that your head is directly above your pelvis so that you're not tipping yourself forward in the pose. Beautiful. Strong, active feet. Think about the base first. Find the triangular bases of both of your feet. The heel, the big toe, and the pinky finger, and root into all three of those points. Feel the inner arches lift up. Feel your legs get strong. Beautiful. We're going to add a little flow here with the breath. So first we're going to make fists, and then we're going to curl in like you're showing off your muscles. Curling in those fists in towards your biceps. Go a little deeper. Then you're going to inhale, straighten the arms. And then you're going to exhale, point the fingers down towards the floor. Do you feel that? Inhale, palms of the hands flat. Exhale, curl in like your biceps are showing off. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, point the fingers down. Good. Inhale, flat hands. Exhale, curl the elbows. The knuckles, the wrists in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, point the fingers down. Inhale, flat palms. Exhale, biceps. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, point your fingers down. Exhale, biceps. Inhale, extend. Hold here. Tip forward. Lean your hips back. Keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching. And then lower the hand down. Support the hand to the shin. Press the shin into your hand. And lean back, open. And think about all those points of support that we went over this week. The feet, feel the triangular bases, heels, big toe, little toe, roots. Feel the glutes, give your bum just a gentle, gentle squeeze, a firmness so that supports you here. Might even push your pelvis a little more forward so you can lean back. Think about your core, cinch in around your waist, pull the obliques towards each other, pull the navel towards the spine. How do you feel now in this pose? Use the support of your breath. Make sure you're not holding the breath. And then come all the way out, bend that right knee, and reach up and over. Nice big release for that right side. And come back to warrior two. Straighten that right leg, arms go down. Pivot your feet to the other side. Left foot spacing forward. Back foot is turned just a little bit, bend that left knee, reach the arms open. Good. So find your base. Set it up from the bottom. Good. The subtle is the most important. Beautiful. And then curl the fists in. Make your biceps. Good. And then you're going to straighten the left leg, straighten the arms, point the fingers towards the ground. Big stretch for the back of the hand. Beautiful. Exhale, biceps. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, swan hands. Exhale, biceps. I missed a breath. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, swan hands. Inhale, flat palms. Exhale, biceps. Beautiful. 2 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. 1 more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. And then inhale, extend. Hold this. Pull the hips back towards your right foot. Reach forward. Try to keep straight lines through the waist. And then take the hand down to support you. If it's on your shin, push your shin back into the hand so you're not locking or pushing into the knee. Good. And open. Feel that there's a wall behind you and you can be supported by that wall. Be supported by your feet. Engage and activate your feet more. Firm your buttocks to make sure they're engaging, those gluteus muscles. Tighten around your core. Hinge in around the waist. Find the support of your breath. Lean back. Keep open. And then inhale. Come all the way back up. Beautiful. Bend that left knee. Reach up and over. Side reverse. And then come back. Straighten that left leg. Come back to the center. This time you're going to turn your toes out and your knees are going to bend in the direction of your toes. Turn your hands down towards the floor and rest on your hands. So I'm leaning my chest forward so that I can rest into the support of my hands. And then just rock yourself from side to side here whilst opening your hips, whilst opening your knees. Beautiful. Like you're in a horse stance. We're going to take a little twist. So the weight is in your hands. Twisting over to the right. Use your left hand to push that left knee open. Sink as deep as you can go. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the other side. Push into that right leg with your right hand. Inhale, back to center. 1 more time. Exhale. Inhale, back to center. And exhale the other side, other direction. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, fold, chest towards the floor, head down. And roll yourself up, chin to chest. Push into your feet. Slowly, slowly, slowly. All the way back to stand. Breathe in, circle your arms to the sky. Exhale your hands down to heart center. Beautiful. Heel toe your feet all the way together. And before we go down to the floor, let's add 1 more pose. We're going to add our balancing eagle pose. So let's start by building our legs first. Cross your right leg over your left. And you can always keep the toes on the floor. Bend your left leg, that standing leg, like you're about to sit back in a chair. If your toes can leave the ground, lift up and cross the right thigh over the left thigh. If you can go deeper than that, hook the foot around the lower leg. Beautiful. Once you find stability, take the left arm over the right, wrap and bind. Elbows want to lift up in line with your shoulders, breathing into all that space behind the shoulders. Beautiful. If that's not possible, you can always just hold the opposite shoulder. Elbows still lifting up in the same line as the shoulders. Breathe here. Steady your gaze, your focus. Pull the belly in. Take 1 more breath. And then release the feet. Inhale. Big circle. Reach up to the sky. And exhale. Arms down by your side. Second side. Well done. Crossing that foot over. Bend the standing leg. Again, feet can always stay on the ground. No need to lift them up. Take the arms up. And then this time the right elbow is going to cross over. And then wrap and bind the arms. Lift the elbows in line with your shoulders. And then if you want to explore more with your legs, you're welcome. But explore that feeling of stability through the standing foot. How the ankle is supporting you here. Can you firm the inner thighs, the glutes? Can you engage your core? All is going to support this pose. And allow your breath to support you in the pose. And then inhale, reach the arms up, place the feet down, big stretch. And exhale, soften your knees, bend them as much as you need to come all the way down into your fold. Maybe it's time now that you can work a little deeper into the hamstrings by straightening the backs of the knees, lifting the backs of the knees towards your hamstrings, towards your sit bones. But maybe that's not the time for you today. Maybe today is just not the time for that. Keep your knees bent if that feels better. And let your body sway a little bit from side to side, from right to left. Beautiful. Then from here, we're going to come all the way down onto our back. So come into a squat to your butt, and then roll yourself all the way down. Slowly curl the tailbone under, lying yourself back. Reach your arms up and extend your legs. Full body stretch on your back. Yeah, see how good I am to you? And then pull your knees back into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Squeeze the thighs into your belly, the knees into the chest. And a gentle, gentle rock from side to side. And then circle your knees around in the sky. Massage out the hips, the glutes, the buttocks. Use your hands to guide the legs. Beautiful. And then let's take our left foot to the floor. Slip your hands behind your right thigh. And if you did have anything nearby you, like a scarf or a strap, you can use that. If you don't have one, not a problem at all. We're going to straighten the right leg up to the sky. Good. Holding it to a straighter angle as you can. So it might not even be directly straight. It might not come in towards the body. Wherever you can hold your legs straight, circle your ankle. So let's bring that same love down into the feet as we brought into the hands and to the wrists. Movement is medicine. Motion is lotion. So to keep our bodies healthy and happy, we just got to keep it moving. And sometimes the biggest and strongest movements, although they serve their point, they're very valuable too. But it's also these subtle, gentle movements that are very therapeutic. Point the toes. Feel that stretch across the top of the foot, and then flex the foot. Pull the toes back. Press through the heel. Maybe the calf is stretching. Point the toes. And flex the foot. Spread the toes. One more time, point the toes and flex the foot. Good. Now walk your hands up your leg until you find that you've reached that maximum stretch in the back of your leg. Nothing too serious, nothing too extreme. You could even send the opposite leg away if that feels available to you today. Just check the back of the knee isn't bending dramatically. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to bend the left knee again. Place that foot to the floor. Cross your right ankle over the left thigh. Use your right hand to push that right knee forward and pause. Slide your hands across the hip bones so you can feel that they're level, right to left. And then draw your legs in toward the body. Hold behind the left thigh. Pull in, squeeze in a nice big stretch for the glutes, for the hips, to set us up well for the rest of our day. Maybe the hands hold the back of the thigh, drawing in, or maybe they hold above the shin, above the knee of that left leg. Wherever they are holding, relax your shoulders. Relax and soften the face and the shoulders even more. Give yourself one more squeeze. And then release. Take that left foot to the floor. Right foot comes back to the ground. Left leg stretches up to the sky, kicking it into the air. Beautiful. Holding behind the leg. Maybe it's the thigh, maybe it's the calf, wherever you can reach comfortably without bending the knee so much. And then circle your left ankle. Good. And as you do that, scrunch the toes and open the toes at the same time. Reverse, go the opposite way. Scrunch the toes open, scrunch the toes open. Good. And then flex the foot, pull the toes back, and point the toes. Point the toes towards the sky. Flex the toes. Exhale. Inhale, point the toes. Flex the toes, exhale. Inhale, point the toes. And then come into flexion. I find that opens the calf muscle more here. Walk your hands to the deepest point of your stretch. Maybe that right leg extends to the final few breaths. Soften your shoulders. If you're not on the upper leg, don't worry. Stay with your hands comfortably down below on that lower leg. Relax the shoulders, deepen your breath. And then bend your right knee. Take that left ankle, cross it over the right thigh. Left hand pushes that left knee away. Feel the hip bones rather, the tops of the pelvis. Make sure that the pelvis is level. And then pull the legs into your body. Hold behind your right thigh. Soften and relax your shoulders. Exactly. Relax your feet as well. There's debate whether we should keep this top foot flexed so that it activates the shin and keeps our knee more engaged. But I've also read that that's not as accurate as we think. It's up to you. If it feels better and more safe to keep the foot flexed, keep it flexed. If it feels nice just to relax it and it doesn't feel any more uncomfortable in your knee, then just let that foot and ankle relax. Hug in, draw in, shoulders down. And then release, take both feet to the floor, separating your feet hip distance apart. Bring your ankles more underneath your knees as possible so there's straight lines with your shins. Beautiful. Arms by your side, press into your heels. Inhale, roll your pelvis off of the ground, coming into a bridge pose. Imagine a pillow between your thighs, hug in here. Weight comes all the way up to our shoulders. And then exhale, lower down, one vertebra at a time. Good. Try to keep those thighs in the same place the whole time, the legs in the same place as you lift up. The weight comes onto the shoulders. Exhale. And lower all the way down. Good. Now inhale, lift your hips. I'm going to give you some options here. So one option is just to interlace the fingers behind our back. Walk the arms underneath us so that we're opening our chest, stretching the arms, as well as strengthening the lower back, the thighs, the glutes. Another option, once you do that, so you have to start there initially, lift your heels, bend the elbows, and hold your lower back with your hands. So you're supporting yourself in this bridge. Good. Another option is just to stay as you were, arms just resting gently to the floor. Take one more breath here. And then slowly start to come out of that. Release the arms if they were in a pose, heels down if they were lifted. And slowly release yourself all the way back to the floor. Untuck the shoulders, the arms. Take your hands up to the sky one more time. Fingers reaching the ceiling. And then pull your hands back like you were in a plank pose on the ceiling. Hands pull back to the wall behind you. Press upwards towards the sky. And then circle your fingers around like you're shining that doorknob. Make a fist and take some big circles with your fists. And please do let me know how I can better describe that action after class. We'll do that one more time. Fingertips point up towards the ceiling. Flex your hands, pull the fingertips towards the wall behind you. And then you're going to start to spread the fingers and then drawing them into center one by one, closing the fists and then just circling the fists all the way around, both directions. Good. Then give them a little shake, a little flick. Lift your legs up, and like you're a beetle that's fallen on its back, flick your feet, flick your legs, flick your arms. Like your child is having a temper tantrum. And then relax your feet. Relax your arms, open them out to the sides of your chest in line with your shoulders. With your feet on the floor, just sway your knees from side to side to help release the spine, release the back, like little windshield wipers. And if you want to take that even deeper, lift your feet off the floor, bring your knees together, rolling over to the side. Drop the knees, stretch in the opposite direction for a big breath. And then the knees back to the sky, over to the other side. Stretching the body in the opposite direction from your knees, the upper body twists towards the right. Big breath. Then all the way back up. And if you feel inclined just to stay in Shavasana, you're welcome to. Or come and join us in our seat so that we can finish our class with a beautiful meditation. Hopefully it's beautiful. I did have a dream last night that I was friends with Oprah, and she told me that I was a great yoga teacher, so don't ask why I was dreaming that. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, coming into your seat, just getting comfortable. Hands resting on the knees or the thighs, or in your lap if you prefer that. And you can work with any mudra that you feel is more empowering or more grounding, more centering for you, if you know of the mudras. Just take some time to settle into your body, into your breath, into that grounding sensation of the body meeting the floor. And the support that is there through the ground, through the floor, through whatever is below your seat. Then the support of the triangular base from your knees to the pelvis. And just like our feet or our hands when we're in our postures. And from that base, we can root down to rise. And we want to stay soft in the belly. But that doesn't mean that the core isn't working here, that the muscles that run along the spine and the back body aren't engaging to hold our spine upright. There's a lot of muscular support as well as skeletal support as the architecture of our body aligns. And the better it is aligned, the more supported you are, the less the muscles have to work, the less tension we feel. And so sometimes it takes just a little bit of shifting forward and back, side to side, to really feel that place where we are aligned. For me, the biggest learnings always come when I make a big mistake. So just like finding your posture, which is supported for you, really understanding how it doesn't feel supported, like when you're leaning too far forward or too far back or too far to the side. And that's what balance is. It's falling off center so that we know where center is, and that draws us back to it. Feel for a moment the support of your breath. Just connecting to feeling each breath rising and filling, and each breath falling and releasing. And that life-sustaining, life-supporting breath. And then asking yourself what it is that you could do right now in this moment that could give you a little bit more support for the rest of your day. Maybe it is to let go of something, to breathe it out, to sigh it out, to release it and set it free. Maybe it's to be here now, to practice mindfulness of the present moment so that we're not overwhelmed by the rest and the stories of past or future. Or maybe it's an encouraging word or thought, an affirmation that is going to support you through your day. Loving and kind words go a long way into setting the tone and our attitude, as long as they're really said with love, like a prayer for ourselves. So let's take a few moments, a few breaths, giving ourselves the support we need for our day. What do you need? Maybe you're just thinking about a nutritious breakfast you're going to prepare for yourself later. What a beautiful way of supporting yourself. Maybe you're planning your day, being organized, scheduling in some more time for you to relax, to do something you love. Okay, now let's finish and switch and think about how you can support others today. And it could simply be for the next few moments, you send well wishes from your heart to others. Try to think of at least 5 people. And maybe you're just sending some prayers to them. And by prayers, I mean just holding them in your heart, and sending them thoughts of well-being, of positivity. Or maybe you're planning on how you could support them, or thinking of new ideas and new ways that they could be supported. But I reiterate that sending someone love and a prayer is very powerful and strong. Think of all the prayers and thoughts of love and positivity that have been sent to you throughout your life, totally unaware, and how just maybe they could have helped you or supported you in times of need. Now just imagine all of those people before we finish, all of them standing beside you, around you. Imagine all of us here together as if we could hold hands, the hands that we've just been working with today, the hands that support us in our physical practice, that support us through life, by holding, by carrying, by working. But also they can support our connection with others by holding, by reaching out and affirming our bonds. So although we can't actually hold hands with others right now, could you just imagine, turn the palms of your hands up to the sky and imagine taking the hand of all of those that you just imagined, that you sent your love to, that you just held in your heart. To all of us here in this little community that we've built. Imagine a circle forming and getting bigger, maybe extending out to your neighborhood, your neighbors, to the whole place where you live, where we're all battling this common interest, this common situation. We're all in it together, holding hands, supporting one another the best we can. Feel the strength and the power of that. And feel as if the whole world were holding hands right now. I truly believe we are. And feel the hands. Feel that sensation in the palm of your hands, the fingertips, the arms. Notice how that makes you feel. And take a deep breath in. Big breath out. And bring your hands together at your heart like you're pulling all of that energy into you. And bow your head to your heart. And thank you so much for your practice today. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your bank holiday. Aw. Here.